All right, welcome. Today we are jumping right into one of the most important questions a guy can ask after a varicocele diagnosis. What is the deal with underwear? Does it actually matter? Well, the answer is a huge yes, and it can literally change how you feel every single day.
So let's just get right to it. Why are we talking about this? I mean, it's just underwear, right? Wrong. When you have a varicocele, the choice you make every morning has a direct impact on your pain, your daily comfort, and believe it or not, the actual health and function of your testicles.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to do a quick refresh on what a varicocele actually is. Then, we'll dive into the science of why support is so incredibly important. After that, it's the main event, the underwear showdown. We'll also cover fabrics and getting the right fit, and we'll wrap it all up by busting some common myths you've probably heard.
So first things first, to really get why the solution works, you have to understand the problem inside and out. So what exactly is a varicocele?
You know, the simplest way to think about it is like varicose veins, the kind you might see on someone's legs, but happening inside the scrotum. It's basically a traffic jam in the network of veins, the pampiniform plexus, that are supposed to be keeping things cool down there. When they fail, warm blood just pools, and that's where the trouble starts. And look, if this is you, you are in very good company. This condition is incredibly common. We're talking about 15 to 20% of all adult men. That's almost 1 out of every 5 guys. So no, you're definitely not alone in this. And here's where it gets even more serious, especially when we talk about fertility. A varicocele shows up in a whopping 35 to 40% of men who are experiencing primary infertility. That makes it the single most common correctable cause of male infertility. So the bottom line is, this is way more than just a dull ache. That pooling, warm blood throws the whole system out of whack. It messes with temperature control, creates oxidative stress, can disrupt your hormones, and in some serious cases, even lead to testicular atrophy, which means shrinkage. Okay, now that we're clear on the problem, let's get into the science of the solution. This is the why behind everything we're about to talk about. Why does a simple piece of clothing have such a massive impact? This slide is so important. You have to understand the huge difference between good compression and bad constriction. Think of compression as a gentle, supportive hug. It helps the veins do their job and reduces that blood pooling. Constriction, on the other hand, is like a stranglehold. It's just tight, it chokes off blood flow, and it traps heat, exactly what you don't want. And this chart just lays it all out there. I mean, look at the numbers. Tight synthetic underwear can jack up the temperature by almost 2.5 degrees Celsius. And studies show that even a 1-degree increase can slash sperm production by up to 14%. It's crystal clear that the supportive pouch style does the best job of keeping things cool and stable. You know, a big enemy here is just plain old gravity. Every second you're standing or sitting, gravity is pulling down, increasing the pressure in those faulty veins. That's why the ache gets so much worse by the end of the day. Good supportive underwear literally acts like an external scaffold, fighting gravity for you. And the payoff is huge. We're talking a nearly 50% drop in that end-of-day pain. All right, science class is over. Now that we know why support and temperature are king, let's get practical. It's time to put the most common styles of underwear head-to-head and see who wins the varicocele showdown. First up, the classic loose boxer short. I'm sure you've heard the old advice to let things breathe. Well, for a varicocele, that advice is just plain bad. Loose boxers offer zero support. None. They just let gravity do its thing, which can make that dragging, aching feeling so much worse. So what about traditional briefs? Well, they're definitely a step up from boxers because you get at least some support. But here's their fatal flaw. Cotton is basically a sponge. It soaks up sweat and just holds it there, creating a warm, damp environment that is the exact opposite of what your testicles need to stay healthy. And that brings us to our champion, the pouch-style boxer brief. This design is a game changer. It's specifically engineered to lift and support everything, separating it from your legs without any of that harmful constriction. You get support and cooling all in one. You can even find specialized brands, like the ones at varicoceleunderwear.com, that are designed from the ground up just for this purpose. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is what the experts are seeing in their clinics. Listen to this from Dr. Michael Rodriguez, a top urologist. He says that after just 12 weeks, almost 3/4 of his patients felt a significant drop in discomfort just from switching their underwear. That is amazing. So you've decided on pouch boxer briefs. Awesome, but we are not done yet. Picking the right style is only half the battle. The fabric it's made of and, crucially, how it fits your body, that's where the magic really happens. This chart makes it so obvious. We already talked about cotton being pretty terrible at managing moisture. The real winners here are modern fabrics like bamboo viscose and modal. They are absolute champs at wicking sweat away from your skin and keeping your temperature stable. That's the environment you're aiming for. And listen, getting the fit right is non-negotiable. If it's too loose, you get no support. Too tight, and you're back in constriction land. So just follow these simple steps. Get your measurements, think about your specific condition, and when you try on a new pair, always do the squat test. Just drop down. Can you move easily? Does anything pinch or ride up? If not, you've found a winner.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. To finish up strong, let's quickly blow up a couple of the biggest myths out there. Separating the fact from the fiction is absolutely key to making sure you're taking the best care of yourself. Okay, myth number 1, tight underwear causes varicoceles. Nope, not true. The reality is varicoceles are caused by faulty valves in your veins. It's an anatomical thing. The wrong underwear won't give you a varicocele, but man, it can definitely make the symptoms of one you already have feel a whole lot worse. And then there's the flip side of that myth, that switching to loose boxers will somehow cure your varicocele. Again, nope. As we've seen, the reality is that they give you zero defense against gravity, which, as you know, is a major source of that dragging pain you feel all day. So, let's boil it all down. Here's what you really need to remember. 1. Support fights gravity and cuts down on pain. 2. Pouch-style boxer briefs are your best friend. 3. Go for modern, moisture-wicking fabrics like bamboo or modal and ditch the cotton. 4. Get the fit right, no excuses. And finally, remember that your underwear isn't just clothing, it's a powerful tool you can use every single day to feel better. And that really brings us to the final thought. You put on underwear every single day, probably without thinking twice. But now you know better. You know it can be a tool. It can be a source of relief. So the only question left is, are you going to make it part of your solution?